I'm Stephen Cooley, and welcome to Stephen Cooley Real Estate Show. We've got some great information about home affordability. We've got a seller tip and a buyer tip on today's show, and beautiful homes for sale in your area. We've also got our wonderful, the scent that sells candle burning here. We're selling them like hotcakes. We've got a reorder coming, so if you come by and we're out, we've definitely got some on the way in. Please stay tuned for today's show. We'll be right back.
This presentation of the Stephen Cooley Real Estate Show is sponsored by South Carolina Bank and Trust. We believe in South Carolina.
Hello, I'm Stephen Cooley, and welcome to Stephen Cooley Real Estate Show. We've got beautiful homes on today's show, and all of them available on our website at stephencooley.com. Welcome to the show, Julie Storm.
Always a pleasure to be here, Stephen.
Thanks for being here. On today's show, I want to talk about home affordability because that's a huge thing in this market.
Well, tell us a little bit about what that means.
Well, home affordability is how much does it cost to own a home compared to your income. Mm-hmm. And the fact of the matter today in home affordability is it takes less of your income today to buy a home than it did for your parents and even your grandparents. Mm-hmm. And that's a pretty bold statement, right, that it costs less of your income today to buy a home than it did for your parents or grandparents.
What's the ratio of today's income for your home?
Our grandparents brag about spending $10,000 or $15,000 on their home, and we look back and talk about how inexpensive homes were back then. But if you ask them what they made per year, they made $2,000 or $3,000 a year. Especially in the South and Southeast. Oftentimes they spent up to 50% of that income on their house payment. Mm-hmm. Today, the average buyer spends around 24 to 26% of their income on buying a home. 30 years ago, gas was 90 cents. Today, it's pushing $4. A gallon of milk was under $1. It's pushing $4. But interest rates, the cost of borrowing the money from the bank, have been 12, 14, 15, 18, 22%, and today they're hovering around 4%. So 30 years ago, the average house payment was $810, and today the average house payment is in the high $700 range. So, but income has over doubled.
Right.
So it's so inexpensive to buy a home today. Most house payments today are less than total car payments for the house.
Right. And also
for the
rent.
household.
I know if you're renting,
right,
you can't hardly find that for a decent place to rent.
Absolutely. Rent's going to cost you more than probably buying the home. And again, the household car payments are more than house payments today. So it's just an incredible time to buy real estate. And home prices have dropped 15 to 25% in our area, depending on the home, the neighborhood. They're not going to drop much more,
right,
even if they drop. But if interest rates just go up to 6 or 8, which are still great rates, it's going to cost tens of thousands of more dollars to own that home over the life of the 30-year loan. And so it's just an incredible time to be a homeowner, and it will never be cheaper to be a homeowner. Even if home prices drop another 5%, it will never be cheaper to be a homeowner.
And also, you get to enjoy what you're paying for.
Absolutely.
It's yours. You own it. You can do with what you want to, and,
right,
and all of that. When you're renting, you can't.
Right.
You don't have.
And there's so many other things. A good point, Julie. There's so many other things about owning a home. The government lets us write off the interest we pay on the house payment. In the beginning, that's almost the entire payment. Canada doesn't do that. Mm-hmm. That's kind of unique to America.
Well, why it's the American dream. Right?
It is the American dream to own a home, and right now, 68% of families do own a home, and that's at a record high still today. And so you also need to throw in there the fact that there's inventory out there. I've been doing this 24 years in this area, and oftentimes people would come to town, and once they told me what they were looking for, there were maybe 2 or 3 homes to show them. But now, even though the market seems saturated with homes, there's only 8 to 12 homes to show people that fit their criteria once they tell you where they want to live, the number of bedrooms, and things like that. So it's up from 3 or 4 homes up to around 10. So again, it's just a fantastic time to be a buyer.
So with that being said, you got any tips for buyers and sellers?
Absolutely. Let me give a seller tip and a buyer tip.
Okay.
Sellers, a lot of you are scaling down. A lot of you are moving to a different style home and you don't want your current furniture. The best furniture shoppers are potential home buyers.
Right.
So create a list, a shopping cart list of the items in your home that you do not want. Put a fair price beside them. Look online, see what resale is for that particular piece of furniture, and give us a shopping list. Lay it beside our brochures on the coffee table or dining room table. Even if your buyer doesn't want your furniture, possibly a home shopper who doesn't want your home may want your dining room table or whatever. Key here, don't let them buy it until your home sells.
Right.
Because we don't want a half-empty home that's been kind of shopped out and no longer staged. For buyers, my tip would be once you get pre-qualified to purchase, and you should before you ever house hunt, don't change anything about your finances.
Okay.
Don't buy anything major other than groceries and gas and maybe, a shirt or a dress. Don't pay off anything. Don't just keep making your payments. Do nothing. Even if your parents want to gift you money, if we didn't need it for the house purchase, don't let them give it to you. Any major change, good or bad. Don't pay off a credit card.
Right.
Don't do anything once you've been approved until you close on that home. Right now with the banking industry regulations, any shift, good or bad, in finances could cancel your loan approval.
Changes your whole financial picture.
Absolutely, and we're just reminding people of that. So,
good tip.
So we've got beautiful homes on today's show, and again, we've got all the homes available on our website. Thank you for watching today's show, and we'll be back.